I like the flavor of this one. It's nice and spooky.
Very spooky. I
The
really do think
ghost
this hits the
story
flavors of home
telling
run.
bard.
Yeah. I like that this is the fortune teller, right? This is the
Mm.
occultist that you find in the shack with their crystal ball and they're telling spooky tales and ghosts are flying around them and stuff like that.
Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we're taking another step down the bard path. We're doing Spirits Bard today.
When we do like we're sending a new bard to college, this time the College of Spirits.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, you want to go down path still? We want to keep doing Barbarian?
Uh, no, I'm not redoing this. So, yes, we're
Okay,
we're sending a new bard off to college
there
today.
we
The
go.
Spirits Bard. All right.
So I played this option. I liked it a lot. This is from Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft, one of the few reasons to buy that book. That's not true. If you want to play in Ravenloft, it's great, but there should be more options like this in that book to get players excited to play in Ravenloft. Anyway, uh, it is all about this thing called the Tales from Beyond and the Spirits Tales table. It's a very fun little gimmick, and it lets you basically do the Necromancer Bard in some fun ways. This sort of replaces the Dirge Singer from 3.5 in third edition, right? And that's an option I think some people were looking for. I'm glad it's back. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yes.
So we start with 3 features at third level. First one we get is
Whoa.
Guiding Whispers. So at third level, you can reach out to spirits to guide others. You learn the Guidance cantrip, which doesn't count against the number of bard cantrips you know. For you, it has a range of 60 feet when you cast it. Neat.
Yeah.
You usually don't need that, but it did come in handy sometimes. Sometimes you'd be like, oh
Sure.
crap, they're all the way over there. Guidance.
I'm not moving.
Yeah. This is a way that you can discreetly empower somebody from across the room, which does, and especially if you're playing on tables that like spellcasting is kind of like frowned upon to do in public and do in like social spaces. This is a way
Hmm.
just to be like you're whispering in their ear from across the way, just like pointing at them and giving them a little bit of guidance to do a social encounter. It's kind of cute.
Sure.
Plus, bonus guidance is a great cantrip, getting it for free on your sheet. Like that. I like that a lot.
Yep.
You additionally get spiritual focus. So at third level, you employ tools that aid you in channeling spirits, be they historical figures or fictional archetypes. You can use the following objects as spellcasting focus bard spells: a candle, a crystal ball, skull, spirit board, a Taroka deck. That's right, you said that right. Taroka.
Uh, I don't even know.
The tarot deck. What I've heard of. I don't know how the
Yeah,
exact
I don't know what
pronunciation is.
Taraka is. That the same thing?
I think
I guess
so. I
so.
don't know. Comments. Let us know what's the historical significance of the Taraka deck or tarot deck, or if there's a difference. I don't know. Anyway, beyond that, so starting at 6th level, when you cast a bard spell that deals damage or restores hit points through the spiritual focus, roll a d6, and you get a bonus to 1 damage or healing roll of the spell equal to the number rolled. I love that you just get this at 3rd level and they didn't make it the 6th level feature. I love that so
Yeah.
much. So
Um.
yeah, most of what this is though is you get a new spellcasting focus that is thematically spooky.
So that feels like nothing.
Yeah, but then the 6th level upgrade is something. Fortunately,
Yeah.
you also got guidance, and fortunately, there's a whole other feature here, right? So this is,
Yeah.
as far as a third feature goes, this is definitely the third flavor feature.
Sure.
The meat of what you get here is Tales from Beyond. This is a buckle in, kids. This is a long one. At third level, you reach out to the spirits to tell their tales through you. While you are holding your spiritual focus, you can use a bonus action to expend 1 use of your bardic inspiration and roll on the spirit's tales table using your bardic inspiration die to determine the tale the spirits direct you to tell. You retain the tale in the mind until you bestow the tale's effects or you finish a short or long rest. You can use an action to choose 1 creature you can see within 30 feet. This can be you, to be the target of the tale's effect. Once you do so, you can't bestow this tale's effect again until you roll it again. You can retain only one of these tales in the mind at a time, and rolling on the table again immediately ends the previous tale. If the tale requires a saving throw, the DC is equal to your spell save DC. Now,
Okay.
the gist of this: as an action, as a bonus action, you roll a bardic inspiration die. You consult the table. Astute viewers that are looking at this and following along at home might note that, wow, this is 12 long, and bards at this level only have a d6 bardic inspiration die. That's because as you
Mm.
progress throughout the game, your bardic inspiration die grows, as do the potential features you roll, which is kind of neat. You can
Yes, that
eventually
is.
get 8s and 9s, 10s, 11s, and 12s as the game naturally progresses. And I do think those modes are slightly better on average than the lower level modes, which is, you're going to have some feel bad moments when you roll a 3 and you're, at level 17, but it's a neat little random thing you get. Now, what random things do you get? I think let's just go through them all. If you roll a 1, you get Tail of the Clever Animal. For the next 10 minutes, whenever the target makes an int, whiz, or charisma check, the target can roll an extra die immediately after rolling the d20 and add the extra die's number to the check. The extra die is equal to your Bardic Inspiration die. Thoughts, feelings, opinions?
Boring, but yeah, potentially useful.
If you compare this to like one use of Bardic Inspiration, it's kind of like a super Bardic Inspiration. Because, if they would add it to an ability check, they would normally do it once. Now they get to do it for 10 minutes. Okay, it doesn't need to be in Wiz or Charisma, so it doesn't need to be social, but you couldn't have that happen, I think. This was the one I was usually most bummed out to roll. 2 is Tail of the Round Duelist. You make a melee spell attack against the target. On hit, the target takes force damage equal to 2 rolls of your Bardic Inspiration die plus your Charisma modifier. You just slap somebody in the face. Just whatcha. That's fine.
Yeah, but you're actually using this is your attack then.
Yes, you make this is a thing you're holding, and then you can release it using its attack roll as an action.
Okay. Neat.
Yes. And notably, this does have a 30-foot range, and it makes a melee spell attack, which is odd, but it does do that thing. You choose a creature within 30 feet, and that creature is attacked when you make this melee spell attack against the target. Target's been 30 feet of you, but it is still a melee spell attack. Weird little nuance there. That's how we read it. I don't know if that's rules is written. I haven't consulted Jeremy Crawford on Twitter. Tail of the Beloved Friends is what you get on a 3. The target and another creature of its choice it can see within 5 feet gains temporary hit points equal to a roll of your Bardic Inspiration die plus your Charisma modifier. So you give somebody some 10 HP, it's super fine. You just be like, hey, there you go, have some 10 HP. It lasts until a long rest because it doesn't have a duration, so you won't hate throwing this out.
I was going to ask that, so you can see some of these, like, I would hate to be using this out of combat and then roll the 2.
What I tended to do is always roll 1 at the start of every day. And then that one will just determine whether or not you're using it pre-combat or in combat. And usually you could expect to have 1 combat encounter a day is what I'm about used to seeing. So you would find ways to use 2 or 3 of these throughout that that adventure, right? So yeah, some bonus hit points, not the end of the world. It's fine. Tail of the Runaway is what you get on 4. I love this one. The target can immediately use its reaction to teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space it can see. When the target teleports, it chooses a number of creatures it can see within 30 feet of you, charisma mod equal to your charisma mod, to immediately use the same reaction.
Wow.
Oh, pardon. So yeah, this is like the one I always wanted to roll. It's really, really nice to be like, okay, you teleport, and then you just pick everyone you want, and they teleport too. Very, very handy. Everyone can just suddenly reposition in a spontaneous way. It's great for engaging. It's great out of combat. This is a banger one you usually want to see.
Now, you have to use, it says immediately. Does that mean you have to use it immediately, or you can wait, or what?
So, what happens is you roll a dice, you store the feature. As an action, you choose something within 30 feet, they do the effect. So they're attacked. They teleport. They whatever X, Y, or Z. They get the 10 minutes of bonus to ability checks. Tail of the Avenger, for 1 minute, it is on a 5. For 1 minute, any creature that hits target with a melee attack takes force damage equal to the roll of your Bardic Inspiration die. This thing is actually sweet. I had this on our, it wasn't a paladin, it wasn't a barbarian, I think it was a fighter. I slapped this on our front line, and they got hit like 14 times, and I just did a bunch of damage. It was great. Tail of the Avenger it has a lot of really high potential. I like that thing a lot. Tail of the Traveler is what you roll on a 6. The target gains temporary hit points equal to roll your Bard Inspiration die plus your Bard level. While these temporary hit points last, the target's walking speed increases by 10, and it gets a +1 bonus to its AC. That's pretty good.
Sure.
It's fine for engagement. So those are all the ones you get out the gate. Those levels 3, whatever you get this option. You have D6 Bardic Inspiration die. Those are all you get. Now, when you get your D8, you get Tail of the Beguiler and Tail of the Phantom. So Tail of the Beguiler is the target makes a Wiz saving throw or takes psychic damage equal to 2 rolls of your Inspiration die, and the target is incapacitated until the end of its next turn.
Wow.
This can be really good. It also can do stone nothing, but that's the nature of Saber dice.
Sure.
Tail of the Phantom is what we get for an 8. Target becomes invisible until the end of its next turn, or until it hits a creature with an attack. If it hits a creature with an attack during this invisibility, the creature it hits takes necrotic damage equal to a roll of your Bardic Inspiration die. and is frightened until the end of the frightened creature's next turn. Neat. This one is juiced. The thing gets invisibility, it gets an on-hit fear. It's very neat.
And
Feelings
it
about
only
these two?
breaks the invisibility if it hits. So, if it swings and misses, then it's still invisible, right?
Yeah.
That's
Additionally,
cool.
if it casts spells, it's still invisible.
Yeah.
Normally that rule's not how this works, but that is the case here.
Yep.
Any feelings about Kill of Garlic that I kind of breezed through?
Um,
That's the incapacitate one.
no, it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's potentially very powerful.
Yep.
Anything that can incapacitate, it can be a death sentence.
True. Now next time we go upgrade to Bardic Inspiration dice to D10s, we get 9 and 10. So 9 is each creature of the target's choice it can see within 30 feet make a strength saving throw. On a failed save, a creature takes thunder damage equal to 3 rolls of your Bardic Inspiration die and are knocked prone. The creature that succeeds on its saving throw takes half as much damage and isn't knocked prone. This is the first instance where we've seen half damage on a success, for the record.
Yeah.
This thing is a beating.
Oh yeah.
You throw
there can be a lot of creatures within 30 feet.
Yeah, you toss this to your paladin, who drops everyone around them prone, goes next, and then smite craters them. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Tail of the Dragon is what we get on 10. The target spews fire from its mouth in a 30-foot cone. Each creature in the area makes a dex saving throw, taking fire damage equal to 4 rolls of your Bardic Inspiration die on a failed save, or half as much on a success. Cool. Someone breathes fire.
Yeah.
Does a decent chunk of damage. It's not amazing,
Cool.
but it's fine. We have 2 left, so these are the last 2 you get whenever you get your final upgrade of Bardic Inspiration die to D12. So we get Tail of the Angel. The target regains hit points equal to 2 rolls of your Bardic Inspiration die plus your Charisma modifier, and you end 1 condition from the following list: blinded, deafened, paralyzed, petrified, or poisoned. Don't love this one. This one's I don't want to roll it when I can help it, but sometimes it'll be a healing word, and that's fine. If it ever ends one of the conditions, it's pretty fine, pretty reasonable. It's like lesser restoration, stable to a healing word, which isn't great still, but I frame it that way actually. But you have any feelings about it? Am I wrong?
No, that's I'm never huge on things that end effects, like especially if they're on a random table like this. You can't rely on it.
Yeah, you want to prepare it when you need it and not stumble into it when you don't.
Yeah.
The last option we get is Tale of the Mindbender. You evoke an incomprehensible fable from another worldly being. The target makes an intelligence saving throw or takes psychic damage equal to 3 rolls of your Bardic Inspiration die, or be stunned until the end of its next. And to be stunned until the end of its next turn. Good catch. Good catch. And is an important word there.
Yes.
Stunning is really powerful. If you were
Sure.
curious. Conditions. I don't know if it's that much better than incapacitation, but hey, you'll take this one and be pretty happy with it. Now there's 2 saber die options. This gives creatures against attack creatures have advantage on attacking stun creatures. The stun creature automatically fails strength and dex saves, and it's incapacitated, which also just says can't take actions or reactions. So it's like super incapacitated, which is great. Love that. That's
yeah, it's really cool.
all the tales.
But I'm surprised though that what's the one that affected everybody within 30 feet?
The Brute, number 9.
The Brute, yeah, that's like I'm surprised that's not like the most powerful one or the most like upper level one.
I do think like 7, 8, 9, and 10 are the best 4, which is kind of funny. Just because 11, 12 12 is fine, but it's about as good as Tale of the whatever the other stun one is that you get earlier, right? Like the I don't remember which one it is. Another one of those stuns. It's Beguiler, so it's about as good as that. But like the rest of those are Phantom seems really, really good to me. Invisibility plus a whole bunch of extra upside. Brute, giant AoEs, fine. Dragon is a decent chunk of damage in a decent area at a selective space. Like there's a lot of little cool abilities here that all just cost an action to use. Now that action cost gets more progressively expensive the higher level you get. But especially in the low tiers, this thing is pretty easy to play with, and if you get to powerful options, you will use them. We get to move on to the 6th level feature.
Yeah, that was a big one.
That is a dense 3rd level option. So at 6th level, we get Spirit Session. At 6th level, spirits provide you with supernatural insights. You can conduct an hour-long ritual channeling spirits, which can be done during a short or long rest alongside your spiritual focus. You can conduct the ritual with a number of willing creatures equal to your proficiency bonus, including you. At the end of the ritual, you temporarily learn 1 spell of your choice from any class. The spell you choose must be of a level equal to or lower than the number of creatures that conducted the ritual. The spell must be of a level you can cast, and it must be either divination or necromancy. The chosen spell counts as a bard spell for you, but doesn't count as other spells you know. Once you perform the ritual, you can't again until you finish a short or until you start a long rest, and you know the chosen spell until you start a long rest. Does that make sense?
I think so. Yeah.
So you get a bunch of creatures together, up to your proficiency bonus. You perform a seance. You learn a necromancy or divination school equal to the number of creatures you brought, and you learn that until you may take your next long rest and make the ritual again. It's how you get anime dead.
So what are you taking with this?
Anime dead. It's almost
Anime
always
dead.
anime dead. This is how you do anime dead on bards, right?
Yeah.
You could do, like, if you look through necromancy options, the one I went with anime dead, I had a little battalion of skeletons running around with me. But you could take summon undead if you wanted an easier one. You could take Shadow of Moil and do some kind of build there, maybe. Blindness, Deafness, Wither, and Bloom are options. If you only get one person, you can just take Cause Fear. It's not the end of the world. As far as divination spells go, those are a lot wonkier. Like, I don't think you or I are particularly high on guide or on those kinds of spells, but like, I'm looking through them right now and I'm not seeing any riveting options. Mind Spike is fine. Detect Thoughts is kind of neat.
Mind Spike.
Yeah, most of these aren't great.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think most of the time you're gonna do this and you're gonna take Anime Dead or Summon Undead. And those are just the default options you're gonna go with.
That's fine.
That's fine. Yeah, this is basically a way to get about a spell that you can switch around sometimes if you want to get funky with it. 14th level is our final feature. We get Mystical Connection. At 14th level, you now have the ability to nudge the spirits of the tales from beyond towards certain tales. When you roll the Spirit Tales table, you can roll twice and choose which of the two effects you bestow. If you roll the same number twice, you could ignore the number and choose any effect on the table. Cool. It's a little bit awkward because the bigger the die gets, the less likely you get to choose, but that's not the end of the world.
That's that doesn't feel like a 14th level feature.
Yeah, I agree, but at the same time, remember, you're a magical secrets and you're a full caster. So
Yes.
the bar is very, very, very high as far as like, or sorry, very, very low as far as what I would want out of a top level feature for a full caster. They don't need something powerful to be doing powerful things because you're getting progressively more and more powerful, obnoxious, busted spells. And given that you've already taken Animate Dead, you're often going to push magical secrets towards fulfilling that fantasy more often, and you're going to get like a really juiced necromancer kind of archetype here. I think it's going to play very, very well. It played great around level 5 and 6, so.
Yeah.
All things
it's
considered,
pretty cool bard.
Yeah. You have any other thoughts?
Oh no, I like the flavor of this one. It's nice and spooky.
Very spooky. I really do think this hits the flavors of
telling bard.
Yeah. I like that this is the fortune teller, right? This is the occultist that you find in the shack with their crystal ball and they're telling spooky tales and ghosts are flying around them and stuff like that. The character I played was a changeling bard whole ordeal was built around Day of the Dead, so it was all the macabre appearances that you can come with that, the very festive floral colors and skulls and all that kind of stuff. You could do a lot of
what
those
was your
kinds of things
spiritual focus?
That's the crystal ball. It just felt appropriate. I had a skull as well that I used sometimes, but
yeah, see, I was thinking a skull, and then when you're telling your tales from beyond, you move its mouth.
No, that's more like puppeteer Jeff Denham shit. I guess that's more of what you're about. So I prefer an epic fan jokes, but hey, to each their own, you know?
Yeah.
The game, it does great with both, for the record. I like this thing a lot. I don't think it's foolproof. I do think that there's enough misses on the Spirit's Tales table that you will be disappointed in it sometimes. But with Guiding Whispers and the rest of this option giving you some free spells, I think this is a solid B. It's not a home run. It is a good time, though, and it definitely fulfills the fantasy pretty well.
Agreed. Yeah, I've got no arguments there. B sounds about right.
I thought more often than not, I was happy with my Spirit Tales outcomes for what it's worth. Like, I was like, oh, that was actually pretty cool. And I did want usually 1 to 2 of them per adventure, and then my one elsewhere. I do really wish you got a free roll. I think one extra roll on the table would have went a long way.
All right. Well, that was the College of Spirits Bard. Thank you, Sam, and thank you everyone for watching. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, and do all the buttons, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.